Hey everybody, it's Neil the Dastardly Gentleman, and with me I have Jeremiah, who is apparently pumping iron over there.
I'd rather be pumping your mom. Just kidding. Guys.
I hate you so much.
No, you don't.
Say hi, Jer.
Hi.
Oh my god, and Frank's gone missing. We've sent out search parties. We've released the hounds. But,
no, we haven't.
No word from
We haven't
him.
done any of that.
That's true.
Frank's dead.
But I'm telling you that to make you feel, make you think that I'm trying really hard.
Neil's not a very good friend, so
is
it's
it working? You take that back.
I just calls it like I sees it, Neil.
I am one of the best friends.
I mean, if you had no friends, I guess you'd be a friend.
Listen, you shut your mouth. Anyways.
Nice blazer.
I don't think. You got it on sale. I got it at Ross.
You went to Jared's.
Actually, I did get it at Ross. So tonight we're going to be talking about a few things. We're going to start off with plagiarism. Jeremiah.
Everything is bad tonight.
Everything is bad. Tell me about this plagiarism incident.
Well, so, God, I don't even know where to fucking begin with this one. Basically, IGN, had a editor. Hold on, his name is escaping me. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
I am holding, currently, waiting for you to tell me all about it. Philip
Mewson? I don't know how to say his last name.
It's not important, but just tell us about the story.
Whatever. So, the biggest thing was from... So, God, I want to punch this guy in the face.
Why do you want to punch him in the face?
He has a very punchable face. So, basically, he plagiarized a whole bunch of... Okay, so his biggest thing was he did a review, or a YouTuber did a review of Dead Cells, which was from Boomstick Gaming. And this guy is like a writer for IGN, and he basically just stole like the entire thing and just changed like a few words. Like, you know when you write like a book report that you don't fucking want to do, and you just changed, like a couple of words here and there to make it sound like you wrote it. That's basically exactly what he did, except for he also, like, the way that, like, he did his review was, like, literally in the same tone, the same pauses, the same, like, everything. Like, I mean, there is, without a fucking doubt, that he just copied everything. And so he basically got called out on it. IGN pulled the review. And so he got fired from IGN or whatever. Like, they basically canned him, which, I mean, awesome, great.
Right.
So normally when something like that happens, I mean, plagiarism is bad. Plagiarism is bad as well. Somebody who does art, like, it scares me to put art out there because I see shit all the time where people just fucking, like, slight little color change or whatever, and they steal people's art. And I mean, like, a review like this, I mean, these YouTubers, it's their money. It'd be like somebody stealing our podcast, which, I mean, good luck. If you guys could make some money off of it, awesome.
Yeah.
Show us your tricks.
Yeah.
I mean,
show me your moves.
So he basically does all this stuff, and normally you'd figure that you get caught, you would vanish. You would go under a rock, you would just pretend to not exist for a while, and then you would just kind of,
yeah,
come out eventually and maybe try and find a job elsewhere, whatever like that. So, he went out to make a YouTube video, which if you haven't watched it, Neil, I'll have you put a link somewhere in our description somewhere for it. It's infuriating. Like, this guy should have his guts pulled out and just be strangled to death with them. Like, holy fuck. He basically says that he apologized to IGN, and that's it.
Nobody else.
Not to the YouTuber that he fucking copied, which they... So he... Not to the YouTuber that he copied or anything like that. And he basically said, if I'm plagiarizing, like, you I dare you to find more. Like, basically, like, fuck you. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. Basically, like, suck my dick. You know, like, that was pretty much it. And then now there's all this other stuff that people are finding and, like, posting, like, of him, like, stealing stuff for, like, other games and stuff like that. He basically said, like, you know, nothing but best wishes to the YouTuber or whatever. Yeah, so he basically stole a whole bunch of other stuff. And IGN is like fucking frantically trying to like skim through shit and like find more of this stuff, like if there's more out there.
Do you think there might be more out there?
Probably.
He plagiarized an article, from IGN, you said?
So he was a writer. He was a game reviewer for IGN. And he basically stole a bunch of YouTubers' videos, basically, and just changed a few words, but like literally like regurgitated pretty much exactly what they're saying with like just like a few word changes, like very few word changes. And like I think he did one for FIFA 18, Nintendo. Oh yeah, FIFA 18 was the other one. I guess Nintendo Life did like a review of it, and he basically copied that. But the biggest one right now is Dead Cells. And the thing that's kind of a bummer about that is like I was super looking forward to playing Dead Cells, but all the stuff that like I see on it are all people just fucking talking about this guy like basically just plagiarizing it. So it kind of kills like all the credibility of the game and kind of like puts just like a plagiarism like tag almost like with the game itself.
I actually don't think it does that. I mean, Dead Cells, I've played Dead Cells and that's really fun. It was one of those games that they call it a Metroidvania, which is where it's a lot like Metroid, where you go out and get items, and it's a lot like Castlevania, where you do the same thing, basically the same stuff. Again. Yeah. Well, no, you move along a 2D plane, and you collect upgrades for you and your weapons, and you become stronger. It's like a 2D RPG, like a platform RPG is basically what it is. And it's really cool. I liked it. I just, you know, the only thing that turned me off about the game was it was roguelike, which if you don't know what roguelike means, it's procedurally generated. So every time you die, the shit changes. So because of that, I'm like, I couldn't get into it too much because I'm used to Metroid or Castlevania where, all right, I died like 6 times on this boss, but I've got it memorized now, so I'll beat him this time. No, they fucking change this shit up every time.
Like everything changes in that game from what I've seen. Yeah. I haven't played it yet, but it's my next Switch purchase.
Yeah, and I mean it's on Steam too, if you can catch it on sale. But it's a fantastic game, and if anything, I think this controversy about the plagiarism and having the game tagged all over it, people are going to want to know what it's about. People are going to want to know what the game is about because any publicity is good publicity, and if you actually literally go out and play the game, you'll realize it's a really good game. So, I think, I mean, you wouldn't want the name of your game to be in the same
associated with anything like that. Like,
exactly, but probably is going to turn out for the best for them, in my opinion. And
I hope so. It's an awesome game, and if they make more like that, like, I'm sold.
Yeah. Actually, Ryan bought that game for me. OG. He gifted it to me. It was a good game. I really liked it. So
stream it sometime.
Huh?
You
yeah,
degenerate.
I should stream something.
Yeah.
So that was a plagiarism thing, huh? What do you?
Yeah, I mean, he called out Kotaku also because he said that because basically another editor basically called him out, and he basically tried to be like, yeah, well, fuck you, and all this stuff, and they were just like, okay, like, he basically was like, yeah, they're just the guy that did the plagiarism was basically like, yeah, well, they've got no credibility, they're just trying to get clicks off my name and like all this other stuff. They're just like kicking people when I'm down, like. He basically is like the biggest fucking douchebag. Like, seriously, like, Google this dude. Here, hold on.
Holding.
Here you go, Neil. Here, I'm gonna send you something.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Here you go. You ready?
I'm ready.
Tell me this guy does not have the most punchable face you've ever seen.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, he's a standard gamer slash bro.
Like a Bateman's face.
Yeah,
like,
totally. Here, I'm gonna grab that link and put it in our YouTube description in case you wanted to read the article.
It's funny because it's a Kotaku article, which is basically after he tried to call him out and do all that garbagey shit. I think like plagiarism, like in general, it's fucking terrible. It's stupid. Like, if you're not creative enough to create your own stuff, and you take like some idea, at least reach out to the artist. At least be like, hey, can I use this or can I post this if I give you credit? Like, give them credit. Like, don't just
for sure.
Like, steal shit. And like, because I mean, like a lot of this stuff, it's like these people's lives, and they're fucking like just taking stuff. And like, I mean, it was a small YouTube channel. Like, they don't have like that many followers. I'd have to look at how many numbers they have, but they don't have like a ton of viewers. And I mean, it's fucking IGN. IGN has like tons and tons of people.
Yeah.
And you're gonna take like this stuff that like the guy obviously did a good job if it's good enough to be fucking copied by IGN. Like, I mean, like if I was IGN, I'd fucking offer this dude a job. I'd be like, hey.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, clearly you're gonna have to be fucking copied. I mean.
Well, copied
or
by a
even,
douchebag.
Yeah, I mean, but still, like, copied and be well perceived. Like, that's kind of what it was until people were like, yo. That's one thing that's kind of interesting about like the internet now is it's like, if this was what like 20, like not even 20 years ago, like when like Nintendo Power was out, like the internet wasn't a big thing, and like if Nintendo Power did something like that and like sent something like that out, you wouldn't know. Like, you wouldn't know that it's plagiarized. But like now, it's like you can't fucking do that because people will find out and people are gonna call you out on that shit.
I have some bad news for you, Jer.
What?
That was 20 years ago. We're so old.
Oh my god, my age is showing. I'm just gonna go kill myself now. Peace, guys. Have a good night. Thanks for the stream.
Actually, 20 years ago, I was perusing Cheat Code Central on my dial-up modem, so it was older than that.
Mother of God. Oh yeah, dude, I used to have Nintendo Power all the time. I remember those days.
Yeah.
But seriously though, like before the internet, like you could get away with that, which is still pretty shitty. Like there's the big controversy of, I think it's Led Zeppelin, that a lot of their songs are actually like copies of other songs. Different podcast material, but if you look it up, like there's like a bunch of these different songs where Led Zeppelin's songs are like super similar to other songs. And there's like this big thing that if Led Zeppelin came out when like the internet came out, they would have been called out on this and they wouldn't have been nearly as popular because they would have been fucking sued to shit.
I agree, but I also am kind of skeptical about it because, I mean, people come out with songs all the time that were like, I listen to them like, this sounds familiar, and I don't hear any outrage over it. And I don't know, maybe at that time like plagiarism wasn't that big of a deal, and maybe if they were, you know, around now and still performing now, they would have been sure to, you know, give credit. But, you know, nowadays you hear songs like from Jennifer Lopez had a lot of heat recently about stealing a song straight from Mexico. It's called On the Floor if you haven't heard it. I mean, and you can literally play the songs side by side, and it's the same fucking song except for she sings over one of them. And then you've got this other song that's out. It's on the fucking Billboard Top 100. That's basically just a rip-off of a nursery rhyme. Like, how is this getting on the Billboard Top 100? But not only that,
people are stupid.
Come up with some original shit. People are doing it every day. Why can't you?
I mean, come on. Nickelback makes music. I mean, if Nickelback can make music, literally anyone can make their own fucking music. Nickelback is garbage.
Yeah.
And come on. At least they're not fucking copying songs and shit. Like, they got more talent than that.
Come on.
That hurt me to fucking say that. That legit, like, hurt me here.
Listen, they're rich. How does that feel? Yeah. All right, so let's move on to this next topic, extremism. So, Jer had shared an article with me about extremism. There was a training camp for school shooters.
Basically,
Tell me
in
about
New
it.
Mexico. Why am I the only one talking? Did you not research any of this shit,
Oh,
Neil?
I did, but I'm the host. You can't call on me, James, because I'm the host.
All right. So I'm not gonna try and pronounce this dude's name because that just not gonna happen. So there's a guy in New Mexico who had 11 kids, 12 kids technically, but one of them died. We'll get to that later.
Okay.
But basically, he had a compound of like tires and dirt and like pallets and like all this stuff, and was basically training these kids to carry out school shootings and like kill cops and like news outlet people and like government officials and like all this crazy shit. Like they're training with like assault rifles and like all this stuff. Like pretty big fucking deal.
Right.
Yeah, he's doing like all this like weapon training and like all this stuff with like the specifics. It was specifically for school shooting is like the biggest thing that they're pointing at. So I don't know why it's. I mean, obviously because bad, but that's like the biggest point that they're making on it.
So okay, so this was like a large compound, right?
I mean, like it really wasn't that big, I guess.
I mean, looking at the pictures here, and we'll link this in the description as well. But looking at the pictures, it was big, but it wasn't like
not like huge.
Not
like it's not like 100
base.
people.
Yeah.
Like it's not fucking huge, but I mean like it was still a compound that was built specifically to train kids to kill other kids and like government officials.
Like, okay, that alone is horrifying. Let's just get that out of the way. But that being said, I mean, has there been any kind of like correlation between the school shootings that have already happened and this compound?
Nothing that I've found. Basically, they found like all these kids that were like all super like sick and everything like that. So I mean, as far as I'm aware, no. I couldn't find anything. I mean, I used the Googles and I did everything like that. So I haven't really found anything that really would link it to anything that has happened before.
So that's a little bit more self-assuring. I mean, reassuring. I mean, it's people are gonna find out. I mean, it's big enough to be on a fucking radar. Like you could see it from a satellite picture. People are gonna want to know what's going on there. For that alone, I mean, if you look at the picture, it's not like it's like. I mean, it's New Mexico. Let's be real here. It's not like it's in trees and shit.
They had solar panels and shit there. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's like, I mean, New Mexico is garbage.
Yeah, nobody wants to go there.
If you've ever been to New Mexico, it's like literally the fucking butthole of America.
It's the worst.
There's nothing there but like meth and
dust.
Yeah, meth and dirt. I mean,
and it's that like clay like dirt, so it's like gets in the grates of your car, and it just fucking sticks there. It doesn't just blow off in the wind. It just becomes a part of you. It's the worst. Nobody needs to go to New Mexico ever for anything on purpose. You go there to die.
I literally, the only time I've ever been to New Mexico has been to drive through it.
Yeah, me too.
Literally anywhere else in the world but there.
I think I stayed at a hotel once or twice there on the road between here and Oklahoma, because it really is the halfway point, and it's some scary shit, let me tell you. Don't stay there if you can avoid it.
That's where Neil got into his meth habit.
Why'd you gotta tell him? It's supposed to be a mystery.
Oh, I mean, I was just messing around, guys.
So let's talk a little bit more about that. So, military style training for children to kill other children happening right here in our own septic tank surrounded fence backyard. You know, I mean, does that not just blow your mind? I mean, of course, first, like I said, they're gonna get caught.
Well, yeah, it gets worse. So they were being investigated by the FBI for like a few months,
Okay.
but they never found anything that was like that gave them probable enough cause to search it, like to search the compound.
Sure.
They basically just kind of like played it off like, yeah, well, maybe they just wanted to get the grid and do their own thing. I mean, if you're gonna go off the grid, there is one place in the world you probably should not go off on the grid, and that's fucking in New Mexico.
Yeah.
Like literally anywhere else. Anywhere else.
Like similar with trees. Seriously.
Yeah, like it's fucking hot. You probably can't grow shit out there. It's there's nothing out there.
You look at the cartels, for example. They hide in very heavily wooded areas. They hide their crops. They hide everything. Heavily wooded areas. Why? Because it's really fucking hard to see on a satellite. Hello. So what happened when did you say something about somebody was actually they were arrested and released, right?
Yeah, so from what I understand, the guy was arrested. Wahaj, I think is how you say his name.
Mm-hmm.
So he was arrested for child abuse, is what it was.
Oh.
But they released him because the judge basically said that they basically didn't find that he would be a threat to the community. Like, he didn't pose an immediate threat to the community. So they let him go, but he has to go and meet with like their attorneys like once a week.
Whoopity-doo.
Yeah.
That guy's still at large. Yeah.
Well, he's not even at large. They fucking let him go.
Yeah, they're not even looking for. They probably have their eyes on him for sure, but I
But
mean,
still, like,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, that boggles my fucking mind. Like,
mine too. I mean, that's
somebody
crazy.
who is training children to kill people and has 11 kids that are like fucking dying and like whatever else from like being malnourished and like all that stuff, and you let him go.
I mean, at least hold him for questioning or something. Shit. Like,
they had a fucking like shooting range and like all this stuff. Like,
I mean, I know for a fact that the Patriot Act is still in effect. So you could do whatever you want to a prisoner, basically, as long as you know that they're suspected of potential terrorism. That's what the Patriot Act is for. And it's usually, misused and used poorly and fucking over legit Americans that are just trying to live their lives. Why not use it now for once, when you really should? I don't know what the hell people are thinking. That's so stupid.
yeah.
Everything is bad.
Everything is bad, and like it's just. So one of the kids died. So that is like another thing where it's like, basically, he's accused of kidnapping. It's basically like it is his actual son, but he basically like is accused of basically taking him because he wanted to perform an exorcism on the child because he believed that he was possessed by the devil.
Oh, okay.
So he said he was taking the kid to a park and then just poof, fart in the wind, just disappears.
Oh, okay. I mean, no big deal.
And so the reason that so the kid died, because he had a condition that basically gave him like seizures. He couldn't walk. He needed like constant attention and like all this other stuff. And he thought he was possessed by the devil. So the guy was basically reading him like pages of the Quran, and the kid fucking died.
Okay. So far.
And like when they were like asking the kids about it, the kids were like, "Oh yeah, he's been dead for like a long time." Like,
tell someone.
And yeah,
it's just bad, man. Oh man, so yeah, I mean, if that exists, that, I mean, is that a isolated incident, or are there more that are actually covered better? You know, that's the questions we should probably be asking right now. It's not, oh man, they're stupid, what happened to the kid? It should be, are there more of these fucking little cells
somewhere, anywhere,
like, hidden better? Probably. Are they in America? Probably. Gotta find them, please. Let's start searching. I would be questioning the shit out of that guy. Maybe he's got like maybe he's got contacts, friends,
or
something.
Like, if I remember right, I think there were like 3 people that they were looking at, or that were like involved in it, I think. But I think he's like the main person, because he's got like all these firearms and all this other stuff. Which also, you're training kids, and you're training these children to kill people. You have clearly guns and weapons that you are capable of doing these things with, and you let him walk.
Not enough evidence, dude.
Give me a logical. I would like a logical thought process behind this. Like give me something that I can like grasp at, where I can be like, oh, that makes sense. I can see why they did that. I literally cannot fucking possibly imagine the thought process behind that. Like, Ray Charles could fucking see that it's probably not a good idea. Somebody who is conspiring to kill kids, who has weapons, and is training other kids to kill kids. How is that not...
Yeah.
What?
No, you're on the nose, dude. I'm right there with you. This is stupid shit. Hopefully,
I just don't get it.
Hopefully they're not just looking the other way at this point. Hopefully we're not that fucking stupid. So, fingers crossed there, guys.
Oh, also, so he's also this guy is also the son of it's a possible co-conspirator of the bombing of the World Trade Center in 1993. So he somewhat has, I guess, connections with possible terrorist stuff.
Why is this guy not in Guantanamo right now?
Like, this motherfucker should have a cloth over his face and water.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. I don't get it.
That is the exact, like, definition of terror. Like, that is fucking terrifying. Patriot Act, what's it good for?
Nothing!
It's good for spying on your cell phones and looking at your dick pics. That's what it's good for.
Well, and like, okay, so there is some good news in this. They
tell me, please.
All the kids are in custody of the state.
Yay, foster homes for the kids.
Woo! Woo! Like,
so
I mean,
so what you're saying is that they're in the system now, and then they're gonna get picked up by foster parents, and those foster parents, hopefully, who are good people, get to deal with kids that know how to use guns and hurt other kids with said guns. Hooray! Look, I feel bad for those kids, but at the end of the day, they've unfortunately they've had their heads filled with hatred, and that's not something that's easy to unteach. That is a passionate emotion that you can't just fucking flip a switch on. You have to you have to go through some lessons as to why not to hate people.
And like the saddest thing about like all that and like hate or whatever is like it's not something that you are naturally born with. Like, I mean, I don't care what fucking anyone says. I have almost a 1-year-old, and I can tell you that there is not a lot of things in this world that kid hates more than like a diaper change. But I mean, like everything else, it's like she's just like super happy, and like just like the pure like innocence of that is just like, I used to be like that. No way. But like I don't know, like it's a learned and it's a taught thing, and I feel like if you're taught enough like that, it imprints, and like these kids are probably going to be fucked up like forever.
I mean,
I mean, like they could
definitely be turned around. I mean, I'll say that
Yeah.
for sure. But it's really hard in the system. I mean, it's really hard in the foster care because you're rolling the dice with the parents that you get. I mean, it doesn't take too much to become a foster parent. I mean, you gotta pay some. I don't even know the process, but
I think it's expensive. I think that's like pretty much like the only thing that really stops people from,
yeah.
I don't know, doing that, I guess.
But I mean, I know plenty of foster parents that should not be fucking foster parents. They shouldn't be parents, period. But yet here they are, pulling in, you know, troubled children into their house and trying to, you know, parent them with their sorely unqualified skills. And most of the time it's counterproductive. Shit. So that's not good. I mean, you release little terrorists out to the fucking wild, and cross your fingers, hope everything goes well. Hopefully they're handling it with care, is all I'm saying.
Everything is bad.
Everything is bad.
That's the topic of tonight's podcast.
Everything is bad.
Frank asks, who did he plagiarize again?
He asked
Okay,
that
so
like a half an hour ago.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm going to answer it for poor Frank because Frank missed the talking points.
Okay.
He originally... Okay, so going back to the IGN and the plagiarism thing, Frank. He plagiarized a YouTube channel called Boomstick Gaming, who did the original review of Dead Cells. He's also been found now to have plagiarized other things as well. The biggest thing was somebody from Kotaku, Nintendo Life. Those are like the big ones right now. I mean, I haven't done like a ton of research into all the other stuff, but those are the big three.
All right.
So,
Glad we got that out of the way.
back to things being awful.
All right, so let's talk about A Murder Most Foul. Yes. Okay, so tell me about this Colorado murder. This man killed his wife and his kids.
It's
pregnant wife.
Oh my god, it's horrible. Okay, so I found out about this. I came home, and Jordan texted me about like this murder thing, and she was like, because you know, kid, she was like, oh my god, this guy killed like his 2 daughters and like his wife who was pregnant, blah 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 blah. Like, I couldn't picture like, you know, doing something like that or blah blah blah. Like I could never. Like, now that I have a kid, like I mean, before it's like I could never picture myself hurting a kid, but like now that I have like a kid, like, to hurt a kid, like, you're a fucking monster at that point. Like, I mean, like, there's really no other way to like put it.
Sure.
You know? Like, I mean, I see my kid fucking like gumming on mangoes and shit, like, and like just everything is just right in the world. I'm like, the thought of hurting her ever, like, it sickens me. Like, it legit turns my stomach.
Yeah.
So,
because you're normal.
Like, I mean, I'm not normal, but I'm normal enough to know right from wrong, I guess. To know wrong from really, really fucking wrong. So this guy is having an affair, and basically told his wife, "I don't want to be with you anymore. I'm going to divorce you."
Okay.
You know, no big deal. Whatever. Uh, and so his wife and his kids go missing. And he filed a police report. Like, basically, like, I can't find my kids. I can't blah, 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 blah. He turns around and basically tells the police, like, after, I think it's like after like 4 days or something of them investigating and whatever, because I think it was actually a family friend that originally kind of alerted authorities, like, hey, she's missed a doctor's appointment, she's not responding to like messages or anything like that, and I guess that yeah, so she just like vanished. So he basically he ends up like calling the policeman, like, hey, I'm gonna tell you the truth, I'm gonna tell you what happened. So the cops get him, or like questioning him, and so he turns around and he says, I was watching on our baby monitor in our room. My wife was upset because I wanted to divorce her, so I watched her kill my 2 daughters. I think there were 3 and 4. Hold on, I'm gonna fact check. If you Google Colorado murder, it's like one of the first things that pops up.
There you go.
Because it's like a big fucking thing. And like, it's so sad. Like, I don't know. So basically he said that he saw her on the baby monitor strangling his wife, strangling their 3-year-old daughter. And the 4-year-old, he said, was like already like black and blue, just
Sure.
like whatever. And he then basically said that he after seeing this went in and basically killed his wife.
And obviously they don't believe him, right?
Well, so basically he confessed then to burying his wife near 2 oil tanks and then dumping his kids' bodies into the oil tanks, because he worked for like a drilling company, and like he basically took his kids' bodies, dumped them into these massive like oil tankers, and then buried his wife like not that far away. And his wife was pregnant, so that makes it like extra sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, this guy is being held without bond. I mean, obviously he killed someone, so I mean it's a little different, but yeah, so he was like denying that he wasn't doing an affair and like all this other stuff, and like they basically found out about it like after the fact, like after lying about it.
This is like the first episode of Supernatural. You ever watch that show?
I have not. I have friends that are like super I have lots of friends that are super into it, but
Okay. First episode of Supernatural, they're trying to figure out why there's a whole bunch of deaths on this highway, and it's because of this, they call her a woman in white. Basically, she's a ghost that haunts the freeway, or the interstate, or the highway, whatever you want to call it, and gets in the cars with unfaithful men, and then fucking kills them. Like, drives them into the house and fucking kills them. You know, the team, the duo, they go in and they investigate, and they find out that the husband is still alive, and he was very unfaithful. And I don't know, I can't remember if he's the one that killed the kids or she's the one that killed the kids, but she drowned them in the bathtub, and then she killed herself. So now she's the woman in white, and she hunts the interstate. It's probably what's gonna happen with this guy right here. They're all
oh, everyone is pushing for the death penalty on this guy, and as far as I'm concerned, this guy doesn't deserve the death penalty. This guy deserves to go to regular prison, where he will be beaten and raped and beaten and raped over and over and over again until he dies for the rest of his life. I'm fine with that.
Nah,
like,
it'll last 2 weeks.
oh yeah, this guy will get shivved by the fucking sharpened toothbrush and.
Yeah, they don't fuck around with killing kids. I mean, he will not last very long in prison, so might as well sentence him to death via life in prison 2 weeks later. So, yeah, I mean, that was pretty fucked up.
All of his neighbors, like, basically were like, yeah, this dude backed into his garage with his truck, and then he left at, like, 4 in the morning, and then, like, whatever, like, yeah. I don't understand how anybody can do that. Like, I don't know.
There's really no explanation for him. I mean, the dude is clearly disturbed in the head. He's got problems, and unfortunately, other people had to suffer because of it. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, maybe he snapped. This is me playing devil's advocate right here. So, disclaimer: I don't really feel this way. Maybe he got tired of her shit. You know? I mean,
he was having an affair. He was the one doing the affair stuff. Just fucking leave.
See, this is the part where a random viewer pops in mid-conversation where they think that I'm, like, for the guy killing the family. Because they twist my fucking words. They didn't listen to the disclaimer ahead of time. They did that last time when we were talking about Hitler.
Neil condones killing children and wives.
And Hitler did nothing wrong. Oh, here he pops in. Oh my god.
Did you hear that? This guy's basically Hitler.
Thanos did nothing wrong.
But yeah, dude, it's like super sad. Like,
it really is.
Everything is bad.
See, that's one. I was actually thinking about moving to Colorado. That's one mark down for them. Sucks, you know.
Yeah, it's super sad. I mean, like, I don't know. What was the wrestler dude that fucking snapped and killed his family?
Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody saw that shit coming. I mean, he had a short fuse, but they never thought he would be that bad.
Wasn't he like super depressed and like all these like medications and like roids and he just fucking snapped?
Oh yeah.
Everything I read about this dude, he was like just a fucking normal dude that was just cheating on his wife, and he just killed everyone.
They had to go. All right, they were about to blow the top on that story.
Like, I don't understand. Here's that picture is so sad to me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that guy doesn't look like a fucking psycho. He doesn't even look like. He like
literally looks like a fucking normal dude that you would just walk by at a grocery store, or like if you drop something, be like, "Oh, here's your debit card, ma'am." Like normal fucking dude.
Yeah.
Oh, people are fucked up.
I agree.
And there's probably worse stuff out there, but I mean, like, I don't know. I think it hits more close to home to me now that I have like a kid. Like, it'd be like me having 2 of the kids that I have right now, and knowing that I'm gonna throw it on the way and I kill everyone. Boop.
Jared, don't do that.
The thought of that makes me physically feel ill.
Of course. It's
like,
fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, glad we could come out here and depress you folks, so thank you so much.
Everything is bad! Everything sucks!
Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to our shit. I know you probably didn't in particular like what you heard, but if you did enjoy the discussion, please drop us a comment, like our page, like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your children,
tell your wife, tell your kids. They're subscribing everybody out here.
Yeah, you know.
I feel you, dude. I mean, we still got like 5 minutes till we're normally done. What do you got going on, Neil?
What do I got going on?
Yeah.
busy as shit, and I barely have time for anything.
That sounds
Work.
like an excuse.
Work, second work.
Everything is bad.
Everything is bad. Been doing CrossFit a lot lately. Hurts when I pee now.
That's the herpes. That's the VD.
That's not herpes, dude. That's the clap. Come on now.
Just said it with the shampoo. Or whatever. The soap. I don't know.
No, we're done here. Alright, let's cue the outro music.
Thanks for coming.
See you guys later. Bye.
Gonna go back to curling. Look at this photograph.